What's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'm here to share with you my library book haul. Yes, I said library book haul. One of my goals for this year of 2025 is to pretty much narrow down my book buying. I want to utilize my library a lot more this year. I used it last year, but this year I definitely want to take it to a whole nother level. In regards to my book buying, I still have some subscriptions that I'm going to be keeping for the time being, especially one of them, like the Broken Binding, for sure. That's definitely something I'm going to keep. As far as pre-orders and stuff goes, it's probably going to be a hit. It's really going to be mostly a miss. There might be some books that they might release regarding some special editions that I know that I might want. But once again, I'm going to be limiting my book buying. It's not going to be as crazy as it was and how it has been for the last few years since I've been on BookTube. And like I said, I want to support my local library as much as possible. And so I have like a little stack here that I recently received from my local library. And I want to share with you all the great books and manga that I am thinking about reading. I have a feeling that these are mostly going to be books that I read this month, since I only have a limited time of reading these particular books. Usually I could do a renewal as long as there's not a hold on them, but some of them are some newer books, especially two of them. So I know they're going to be going really fast, and I definitely need to read them as soon as possible. Hopefully Libby will come through with the audio, because I definitely would love to hybrid read them, especially if I'm cleaning or whatever, or driving. So having an audio does come in handy. So the first one here is going to be, well, the first three are manga. The first two is part of a series. I was introduced to this series because of the huge announcement on Crunchyroll that there was going to be an anime regarding it, and that there was a manga for it. And I was like, okay, I need to read the series, and obviously the title sounds cute. It's something up my alley, especially when it comes to certain genres of what I love in manga. And so I have volumes 1 and volumes 2 of Anyway I'm Falling in Love with You by Haruka Mitsu. So this is volume 1 and this is volume 2. Like I said, the first episode on Crunchyroll regarding this anime has officially been released, and it's out. So I already watched the first episode and I loved it. So I got to see what happens. And of course, this is featuring childhood friends. They go to high school together, and one of them falls in love with one another, so there is that. It's a cutesy type of situation. But even on the back of volume 1, it says, an all-you-can-eat buffet of teenage drama, romance, and nostalgia. It says, longtime childhood friends plunge into rocky adolescence. And then it goes on to say, Mitsuo's 17th birthday simply sucks, leaving her feeling rejected and neglected. Just when the dream of a dazzling teenage life eludes her, Mitsuo bonds with her childhood friend Kazuki, who surprisingly might be her boyfriend, might be boyfriend material. However, their budding romance has an unprecedented challenge: a global pandemic. Now, this is during the time of the storyline. Well, it goes into the year of 2030, and the main character Mitsuo writes manga or whatever, and then they're talking about like her manga series comes to an end within that year, and they're like, you need to come up with something fresh. So she thinks of her adolescence in the past, in the year of 2020, and that's during the pandemic. So that's when this is taking place. And it says, will their hearts survive love's rocky waters in uncertain times? So I'm really excited to get into this. I'm not even going to read the synopsis for the second volume, because I don't want to spoil myself, and I don't want to spoil y'all. But I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad that I was able to get this from my local library. So we have these two manga here. The next manga that I am going to be reading, it's ongoing. I started reading this series last year due to the anime Dandadan that recently was released on Netflix last year. Love it dearly. It's funny. It's crazy. I know some people may love it. Some people may hate it, but I absolutely love it. And so I am now on volume 10. I was able, once again, library comes through, and I'm just really enjoying this series. I do not know when the second season of the anime is going to be released. Hopefully soon. If it would be nice if it would be released sometime at the end of this year, but who knows, because I know there's a lot of stuff that's going to be released, especially beginning of this year, regarding some anime. And so yeah, once again, this is volume 10. I'm not even going to read the synopsis. I have sort of, since I read the 9th volume just like a day or two ago, I have a feeling this is a continuation onto what's been going on in this series. So I'm really excited to get into this. I think the 11th volume comes out maybe in a month or two, and hopefully my library will come out with another one. Sometimes with manga series it'll be hit or misses. Sometimes I have to look beyond other libraries outside of Ohio, but usually for Columbus Metropolitan, we're pretty good at getting books and stuff and having access to a lot of them, a lot of material. So here is another manga. The next one, I had gotten this because it's part of a read-along, Joshana's read-along, and I know that Bree from Bree Should Reread, she had brought this to my attention. A few people have brought this to my attention, and I had no idea about this series, and so I am thinking about reading it. I know this is not necessarily a popular series, so I'd probably be able to renew this a few times. And so we have Age of Myth. This is by Michael J. Sullivan. This is book 1 of the Legends of the First Empire. So this is the first book in the series. Once again, this is Joshana's read-along. I'll leave her video up above so you can take a look at her read-along announcement video. But I'm really excited to get into this. I love fantasy, so why not? And my library had the book, so why not indulge in it? And so for this book, it says, Michael J. Sullivan's trailblazing career began with the breakout success of his Reria series, full-bodied, spellbinding fantasy adventures whose imaginative scope and sympathetic characters won a devoted readership and comparisons to fantasy masters Brandon Sanderson, Scott Lynch, and J.R. Tolkien himself. Love Brandon Sanderson. I've been reading him. Read Scott Lynch last year. Really excited to read the last 2 books in the Gentleman Bastard series. And then J.R. Tolkien, I'll be reading Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit later on this year. So really excited for that. And then it goes on to say, now Sullivan's stunning hardcover debut, Age of Myth, inaugurates an original 5-book series, and one of fantasy's finest next-generation storytellers continues to break new ground. Since time immemorial, humans have worshipped the gods they call Frey, truly a race apart, invincible in battle, masters of magic, and seemingly immortal. But when a god falls to a human blade, the balance of power between humans and those they thought were gods changes forever. Now only a few stand between humankind and annihilation. Wraith, reluctant to embrace his destiny as the god killer, Suri, a young seer burdened by signs of impending doom, and Persephone, who must overcome personal tragedy to lead her people. The Age of Myth is over. The time of rebellion has begun. So, really excited to get into this freaking book. This sounds something up my alley. It mentioned Tolkien. It mentioned Brandon Sanderson, Scott Lynch, all great fantasy, epic fantasy writers, right? So I feel like this is something I'm going to enjoy. I'm real excited to be participating regarding the read-along. And so, yeah, this is the first book for January. So I was like, yes, my library came through once again. So I'm excited to get into this. The next 2 books, they are brand new. These are new releases that just came out this month. And I know these are going to be popular. I know for this one for sure, I've been seeing it circulate throughout TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, all over social media. If I love this book, I might get the physical copy just so that I can annotate and take note and write in it if I so please. But for now, borrowing from my local library. So we have An Open Contempt, Confronting White Supremacy in Art and Public Space. This is by Irvin Weathersby Jr. Once again, I've been seeing this all over social media, and it's been circulating, and I'm really excited to get into this, and hopefully Libby comes through, because I know I only got like 20 days for this book in order to read it. So I feel like that's a good amount of time to read it. It's only about 230 pages, so it's doable. I feel like 21 days is enough time for me to get to this book. But let me read the synopsis for this one. So it says, amid the ongoing reckoning over America's history of anti-Black racism, scores of monuments to enslavers and Confederate soldiers still proudly dot the country's landscape, while schools and street signs continue to bear the names of segregationists. With pungent lyrical prose, cultural commentator Irvin Weathersby Jr. confronts the inescapable specter of white supremacy in our open spaces and contemplates what it means to bear witness to sites of lasting racial trauma. And then it goes on to say, Weathersby takes us from the streets of his childhood in New Orleans, lower Ninth Ward, to the Whitney Plantation, from the graffitied pedestals of Confederate statues lining Monument Avenue in Richmond, Virginia, to the location of a racist terror attack in Charlottesville, from the site of the Wounded Knee Massacre in South Dakota to a Kerry Walker art installation at a former sugar factory in Brooklyn, New York. Along the way, he challenges the creation myths embedded in America's landmarks and meets artists, curators, and city planners doing the same. Urgent and unflinchingly intimate, In Open Contempt offers a hopeful reimagining of the spaces we share in order to honor our nation's true history, encouraging us to make room for love as a way to heal and treat one another more humanely. So this sounds really freaking good. Even for Irvin Weathersby Jr. is a Brooklyn-based writer and professor from New Orleans. He teaches at Queensborough Community College and at City College of New York in the MFA in Creative Writing program. His writing has been featured in Gwinnett, Esquire, The Atlantic, Ebony, and elsewhere. He holds an MFA from the New School, an MA from Morgan State University, and a BA from Morehouse College. And he has received fellowships and awards from the Voices of Our Nation's Arts Foundation, the Research Foundation of CUNY, or CUNY, the Bread Loaf Writers Conference, and the American Council of Learned Societies, and the Mellon Foundation. So, wow, he has a lot going for himself, which is amazing. Full-blown amazing and very impressive. And so I have a feeling I'm really going to enjoy this book, and I really love this cover too. Whoever thought of this cover, whoever did it, kudos to you. This is really good. I feel like this cover has captivated me, and I think that's what made me want to read it more. And then also Jason Reynolds had did a blurb on the front of the cover saying, an awe-striking masterpiece of love. So need I say more? Need I say more? So here is this. And then last but not least, I have a chunker here, which I'm hoping to get through. This is another, this is a nonfiction book. And the writing is very small, but hopefully I can get through it. And that is The First and Last King of Haiti, The Rise and Fall of Henry Christophe by Marlene L. Dott. So here is this next one. And this is a chunker, y'all. A huge chunker. There's a lot of footnotes in here, but approximately this book is, let's see, 511 pages, which is not bad, but look at the words. They are small. So I'm going to take my time in reading this chunker of a book. I feel like I can possibly renew this book, but who knows? It might end up being popular, or I've seen some people already like wanting to read this book. This book also has been circulating on social media as well. For this one, it says, the essential biography of one of the most richly complex figures in the history of the Americas. And The First and Last King of Haiti, a brilliant award-winning Yale scholar unravels a still controversial enigma that he was. And then it goes on to saying, slave, revolutionary, traitor, king, and suicide. Henry Christophe was, in his time, popular and famous the world over. Born in 1767 to an enslaved mother on the Caribbean island of Grenada, Christophe first fought to overthrow the British in North America before helping his fellow enslaved Africans in Saint Domingue, as Haiti was then called, to gain their freedom from France. Yet, in an incredible twist of fate, Christophe ended up fighting with Napoleon's forces against the very enslaved men and women he had once fought alongside. Later reuniting with those he had betrayed, he offered to lead them and made himself their king. But it all came to a sudden and tragic end when Christophe, after 9 years of his rule as King Henry I, shot himself in the heart, some say with a silver bullet. Why did Christophe turn his back on Toussaint Louverture, and the very revolution with which his name is so indelibly associated. How did it come to pass that Christophe found himself accused of participating in the plot to assassinate Haiti's first ruler, Jean-Jacques Dessalines? What caused Haiti to eventually split into two countries, one ruled by Christophe in the north, who made himself king, and the other led by President Alexander Pétion in the south? The first and the last king of Haiti is a riveting story, not only of geopolitical clashes on a grand scale, but also of friendship and loyalty, treachery and betrayal, and heroism, and strife in an era of revolutionary upheaval. So this is going to be a lot to take in, but I'm really excited to read it. Once again, these words are very, very small, so it's definitely going to take me some time to get through this, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. It gets me to know more about the King of Haiti. When I was in college, they never really bring up the King of Haiti as much. It was never like the topic, so I really want to do my own research. I want to educate myself more regarding Haiti. I know the gist of Haiti and stuff like that, but I want to go deeper into the root of Haiti and read this book in particular and learn more and be more well-rounded when it regards to history around in other countries and areas of the world. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading that as well. But that is it. That is like my little mini library book haul. Nothing too crazy, but I feel like it's manageable and it's doable for me to read these all, hopefully this month. Maybe one or two might roll over into February. Hopefully not, fingers crossed. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed my mini little library book haul. You will be seeing more of that from me throughout the year, pretty much every month. So look forward to those. But thank you all so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give me that thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you are staying healthy and staying safe, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye everyone.